morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to talk about Dragon Pokémon. Because honestly, ladies and gentlemen, we need to figure out what is going on with Dragon Pokémon. Now, this is not a topic we've never talked about before. We have had a look at Dragon Pokémon, but the last time we had a look at this question was almost a year ago. And we have had an entire year's worth, just over in fact, of the Pokemon trading card game and a lot more information. So let's go and take a little bit of a look. Now, the background here essentially is that a little while ago, Pokemon announced officially that Fairy Pokemon are gone forever. With the advent of the Sword and Shield block, that is Sword and Shield, the base set onwards, Fairy Pokemon will no longer be printed, and they will essentially just become Psychic Pokemon with a weakness to metal. And we've seen a few quote-unquote Fairy Pokemon printed in that way. We can even look at stuff like Hatterene, for instance, and go, well, it's got a darkness weakness, so it is intended to be a Psychic Pokemon, not a Fairy. But then look at the Clefable from Rebel Clash and go, oh, it's Psychic with a weakness to metal. This would have been a Fairy if Fairy still existed. And the thing I keep coming back to is, Pokemon officially announced that Fairy Pokemon would be going away. They never made any such announcement about Dragon Pokemon. So why have we had 0 Dragon Pokemon in the Sword and Shield block? In every Sword and Shield set, in all of the promos, and I have gone and looked at every single Dragon or part Dragon type Pokemon, and I've gone to pkmncards.com, great website for research, I should say, or research even, and I've gone and had a look at every one of these Pokemon to double check. There has been no Dragon Pokemon in the Sword and Shield block, and we have had 29 cards, 25 if you don't include VMAXs, because VMAXs come along with the Vs, they're kind of a pair, that could have been Dragon Pokemon that weren't, and it really is starting to look a lot like Dragon Pokemon are actually gone. Because you know what? We're quite a bit into this. In a year, we have 4 expansions. And the 4th Sword and Shield expansion was Vivid Voltage. So by the time Vivid Voltage came out, we have had exactly 1 year of Sword and Shield in the Pokemon trading card game. That makes up one essentially calendar year, 12 months worth of the Pokemon TCG. Now, since then, we've also had battle styles, as well as some mini sets like, for instance, Shining Fates. And in all of those sets combined, not a single Dragon Pokemon. Now, obviously, we could start talking about things like coincidence and, well, not every set needs to have every type. Certainly in Japan, they do deliberately, especially with mini sets, cut them down in terms of typings. They'll deliberately exclude a few typings purely so they can have better sealed play. Fewer typings means more likely to hit your evolution lines or a lot of water Pokemon or whatever. But I think it's fair to say at this stage that is definitely not the case. I've left it, like I say, pretty much a year to talk about this subject again. And basically, we've got 5 full sets and mini sets, and we have had nothing in terms of Dragon Pokemon. Now, one interesting thing they've done here, they have just ignored pure Dragon Pokemon. So there are some fully evolved or at the moment unevolving, no known evolutions is a parlance we use, that have just not been around in Sword and Shield. Haxorus, Druddigon, and Goodra are pure Dragon Pokemon that would not evolve any further, who just have been ignored in the Sword and Shield block. Now, interestingly enough, we do have some evolution lines where the pre-evolutions are pure Dragon, but they gain a secondary typing. So Dragonite is not pure Dragon, but both Dratini and Dragonair are. We've actually not had any Dragonite in the Sword and Shield block. Similarly, Kommo-o is not a pure Dragon Pokemon. However, we haven't had any Kommo-o in the Sword and Shield block. And its starter evolution, its basic, is Jangmo-o, who is pure dragon. The stage 1 Hakamo-o is not pure dragon, so we could have one of those. Now, interestingly enough, we have actually had Salamence V and Salamence V Max in Darkness Ablaze coming as colourless Pokemon. Now, this is interesting because both Bagon and Shelgon, the pre-evolutions of Salamence, are pure dragon type and would, if printed at the moment, have to be a dragon Pokemon. But Pokemon have got around that because of the whole Pokemon Vs and V Maxes are, well, Pokemon Vs are always basics and V Maxes evolve from the Vs. So even though Salamence should give us an answer, i.e. either the pre-evolutions are dragon or they're not, we actually don't get any closer to an answer with Salamence because Pokemon have cheated and gone straight to Salamence and put it as colourless because Salamence is part flying type, and actually we don't have our answer here, ladies and gentlemen. We are still waiting. And incidentally, Pokemon could do the same thing with Dragonite and Kommo-o here, and that would work. Which means the only ones that we really need to get an answer for, i.e. are dragons still here or not, are Haxorus, Druddigon and Goodra. Except remember that we've actually just introduced in the Crown Tundra in the new DLC another pure dragon Pokemon, and that is Reggie Drago. And here's the thing. Pokemon can ignore Haxorus, Druddigon and Goodra, but they cannot ignore Reggie Drago. And the reason is extremely simple. It's a new legendary Pokemon. You cannot introduce a new legendary Pokemon and not give it a card. Now, we know that Chilling Reign is going to be focusing on Ice Rider and Shadow Rider Calyrex, so we know that we are at least a little way away as it stands at the moment from getting these Reggies. But at some point, I would imagine in the next 6 months maximum, in Japan, we are going to see a Reggie Drago set, or a Reggie set which has got Reggie Drago in. Now, we know the Sword and Shield 6A, that is the next set in Japan. What is going to be part of our Sword and Shield 7, the set after Chilling Reign, is Eevee Heroes and focused around Eevee Heroes. And we know that Sword and Shield 7 over in Japan is a double set Blue Sky Stream focusing on Rayquaza and Skyscraping Perfect with Duraludon, who is incidentally part dragon, but more on that in a moment. So we know we're not getting an answer before minimum Sword and Shield 7A. If you ask me to guess, I think Sword and Shield 8 is going to be where we get some kind of answer on Reggie Drago. But that's what we're waiting for at this stage. Pokemon have to give us a Reggie Drago card. And there is no secondary typing they can use. There is no cheat they can use. When Reggie Drago drops in the TCG, Pokemon have got to show us their hand. They have got to tell us what is going on with Dragon Pokemon. Now, as it stands at the moment, we have, and let's be clear, this is not officially announced, it's just what we've gotten from distributors. But we have a rough guess. No, that's not true. We have a placeholder date, it's not a guess, it's an actual date, of November the 12th for Sword and Shield 8. We don't have a date for Japan Sword and Shield 8, but it is likely to be September or maybe October. That is when Japan is getting Sword and Shield 8. So, although we don't have a date for Japan at the moment. But that's where we're going to get our answer. And I'm not sure what the answer is going to be. Because you know what? What they could do is just do a bit of a swap. Like we saw for Fairy Pokemon. And we've even seen it for Darkness Pokemon as well. So take a look at Weezing, for instance. Weezing is a poison Pokemon. Well, in the Sun and Moon era, Weezing was a psychic type. Now, we've actually got Weezing coming in as a darkness type. Because, you know what? Poison is darkness nowadays. But if we go back far enough, in the earlier days of the Pokemon TCG, pre-Diamond and Pearl, Weezing was actually a grass type. So yeah, we could do a little bit of a type swap here. So, I did tell you that I had gone through and looked at every part dragon Pokemon Because like I say, we've had no full Dragon Pokemon released in Sword and Shield. And had a quick look. So let's go through a little bit of a list, and we'll see quite the lengths that Pokemon have gone to. Now, we do have some secondary type dragons, and the secondary type dragons, we would probably expect them to come through with their primary typing. So we had a Kingdra in Battle Styles, which is a water type, a Flygon in Darkness Ablaze, which is a fighting type, a Dialga in Vivid Voltage, which is metal, the Hydreigon in Darkness Ablaze was darkness, there was a Turtonator in Sword and Shield that's a fire type. We had 2 Drampa, one in Sword and Shield, one in Battle Styles, both of which were colourless. We had Flapple, both in Rebel Clash and the V and V Max in Battle Styles, all of which were grass. There was an Appleton in Rebel Clash that was grass. A Dracozolt and a Dracovish in Darkness Ablaze that were lightning and water respectively. Duraludon has actually come out in Rebel Clash and as a promo card and in Vivid Voltage and as a Pokemon V in Champion's Path, all of which were metal. Incidentally, I told you that there was going to be a Duraludon focused set over in Japan. Absolutely, this could give us our answers about dragons. We could get a dragon-type Duraludon or whatever dragon is going to be, colourless or something else. But honestly, we've had 4 Duraludon printed, all as metal type. Does anyone think the Duraludon in this set is going to be anything other than metal? I, for one, do not. And we've had Eternatus V and VMAX in Darkness Ablaze that were darkness. But again, these are secondary type dragon, so you would not really bat an eyelid. That could be a coincidence. But we've had a bunch of primary type dragon Pokemon as well, and none of them came through as dragon. So the Altaria from Champion's Path came through as colourless. The Salamence V and V Max from Darkness Ablaze, as mentioned earlier, were colourless. We've had Rayquaza both as a promo and in Vivid Voltage that came through as colourless. And again, I've told you we've got a Rayquaza set, and Rayquaza is a dragon Pokemon. But we've already seen 2 colourless Rayquaza. Now at this stage, some of you have noticed what I have noticed. And that is, hang on a second, Wassy, Sword and Shield 7 over in Japan is featuring 2 Pokemon that are part dragon type. Could this be the set that brings back dragon? It could. But we've had some preliminary information about Sword and Shield 7. There was a sell sheet in Japan. And that is basically sent to shops to go, hey, do you have any interest in this set? Do you want to go and order some? It would be weird, quite frankly, if we hadn't already heard that Dragon were coming back, and they were. It seems like the kind of thing that would be known very, very quickly. I could be wrong, of course, but I would be surprised at this stage if Sword and Shield 7 did have Dragon Pokemon, because you'd think they'd be making a bit of a fuss about it, right? And honestly, if you were bringing back Dragon Pokemon, is Duraludon really the one you would start with? I do think if Dragon Pokemon are coming back, it is going to be Reggie Drago that brings them back in. But do note, like I say, Japan has a double set coming, where both of the cover Pokemon, so to speak, are dragon, or part dragon, one primary, one secondary. So there could be something there. We saw the Reshiram from Shining Fates, the amazing rare that was fire type, and the Zekrom from Vivid Voltage that was lightning type. We've seen Zygarde in both Champion's Path and in Vivid Voltage. Both of them were fighting. And we've seen Dragapult as a V and VMAX in Rebel Clash and as a regular Pokemon in Rebel Clash, all of which came out as Psychic. That's a lot of Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen, like I've said. 29 cards, 25 if you take out the VMAXs, all of which could have been Dragon but weren't. And we've had no pure Dragon type. We are far beyond coincidences now. This is definitely a calculated thing on Pokemon's part. They are very deliberately not printing Dragon Pokemon. And honestly, at this stage, the only question is, are they going to continue to not print Dragon? Are Dragon going to come back? And if they do come back, is it going to be as actual Dragon, or as something else. We've talked about the possibility of a type swap, but let's not forget, before Dragons Exalted came around, and no, it's not a coincidence that my history video this week was Dragons Exalted, and I'm looking at this question, it seems, having done a history video on the set that brought in Dragon Pokémon, it really would be rude if we didn't take another look at Dragon Pokémon. This seemed like the perfect time to do it. But before Dragons Exalted, we had Dragon Pokémon. We had stuff like Garchomp, which just came round as colourless. So if there is a type swap, I would imagine, I could be wrong, but I would imagine what would happen is we would just type swap them straight back to colourless. Potentially being weak to colourless, which is of course being weak to themselves, which is of course a very dragon thing to do. I want Dragon Pokémon to come back. But honestly, at this stage, it would be weird if they just came back as dragon like nothing ever happened. If you want my prediction, I think Sword and Shield 7 is going to come around with a colourless Rayquaza and a Metal Duraludon. And then I do think Dragon Pokémon are going to come back, like I've said with Reggie Drago, they have to. But I don't think they're coming back as Dragon Pokémon. I think they're coming back probably as colourless. But ladies and gentlemen, if ever I want to be wrong, oh my goodness, this is what I want to be wrong about. But I want to know what you think. I want to know your predictions. I want to know what you think about this. Do you find it weird that we've had so many Dragon Pokémon but no Dragon type cards? What do you think is going to happen? Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.